Poetry, they say, can fire the imagination, but sometimes it can be a little bit difficult to get young people interested. Stephen Murray is a man with a great passion for poetry, and he wants to pass on his enthusiasm to every young person he meets. So he travels the length and breadth of the country, giving poetry and performance workshops to transition year students.
Or a trip on a stone to send you, also a tip with a yelp and a curse.
No worse, the shadow you cast as you fall is the start of a shallow grave. They give medals though to the grieving partners, mothers, daughters, sons of the brave.
Not exactly how you would imagine poetry recited in the classroom. Poet Stephen Murray started writing at 8 years of age. Inspired by his teacher, he is now a multi-award-winning poet. Through the Youth Speaks project, he aims to share his love of poetry with students around Ireland.
Basically, Youth Speaks, or Brave New Words, it's now also known, is a project designed to, I suppose, raise awareness to amongst young people about poetry, that it's all around us, and also to change preconceived images they have of poetry. I introduce them, read a poem to them, and then we get conventional poets from the Leaving Cert syllabus, and we get them to change their idea of what it means. So we get them to dramatise the poem. So we get them to rap Paddy Kavanagh, or perform Carol Ann Duffy like gospel singers, or death metal, and really, I suppose, take the meaning out of the words through performance.
Carry the Torture by Adam Wyeth.
Today I must remember
to email my father,
who has a tumour
the size of a cucumber,
growing in his liver. It came like a whisper
by text from my sister,
who says he's in good humour,
but I'm sure he'd rather
not to suffer chemo all summer.
I just found it very enjoyable. It was, just thought it was interesting how the music can bring a new light to the kind of words in the poem, and how, like, if you just say, you know, the way I played kind of something that sounded like metal with the lyrics, it sounded completely different. It sounded kind of dark and sinister, and then when you play something more upbeat and kind of mellow, it just sounds nice, you know.
It wasn't what I was expecting it to be at all. No, it was completely different. Fun and actually exciting as well, and the guy that did it, Stephen, he was very funny as well, so added to the enjoyment of it. It's changed my mind completely about poetry. I actually think I can enjoy it now more. I'm not thinking of it as a school subject or anything now. I'm more thinking I could enjoy it and do it myself.
It's quite a focused exercise that they don't really know where it's going. I mean, it's 10 fairly strict points they have to write about and elaborate on, and then once we finish that exercise, we do an exercise called Killing Your Darlings, whereby we try and edit down the 2 pages they've written into 5 or 6 to 10 lines.
This project has been running for 6 years, with 5,000 students attending the workshops annually. It is welcomed by the teachers and enjoyed by the pupils.
Poetry here is taken as it's part of the daily routine. What I really like is I see fellows running around the pitch there with their hurleys, and they come in and they slip a poem under my door on their way out, and they think nothing of it, you know, which is pretty unique. I like this idea of the Renaissance person with the sword in one hand and the quill in the other. Yes.
All kneel.
I heard your booming words echo through the streets of Prague. Hallelujah.
Well, prior to the workshop, I was kind of okay with it because my brother writes a lot of poetry, you know, so I kind of accepted it and, you know, admired it. Today I really opened my eyes to the humour and stuff of poetry, and now I enjoy it, and it's a good laugh, you know.
Before I thought it was kind of more for adults, and I didn't find it very interesting, but now I kind of find it's more funner, and Steve's funny, so it made it better, more interesting.
I've just learned that poetry can be expressed in a lot of different ways, because at first I thought poetry was very much just about emotion, but you can write like a poem about food, And I never really grasped that concept, but you know, now I do, so it's very interesting.
Every year, around April time, as part of the Cork International Festival of Literature, we hold the Youth Speaks All Ireland Schools Poetry Slam Final. It entails 400 transition year students from around the country packing the Town Hall Theatre in Galway to watch 25 teenage poets stand up and perform their work to an audience of packed, screaming teenagers hanging off their every word. Think X Factor, but for poetry. Think 5,000 students whittled down to 25, loud cheers and laughter and a lot of fun.
Oscillating, scintillating musicality, epiphany, portent of pure originality. The true you, again new, now reborn of life's sword, life's word. Thank you.
I have to say, I'm very impressed and encouraged by the stories we've had on this evening's programme. There are wonderful people doing great things all around the country, agus míle buíochas live ille. Sin deir leis it lár, be me ar as live ar an luan, agus go dtí sin bunig í taineh as an deir seachtaine.